Hello everyone, welcome back to the video. So today we're going to talk about modules. Okay, so what are modules? In simple words, modules are files that contain Python code. Okay, modules are files that contain Python code. Modules usually contain the most reusable pieces of code that we frequently use in our programs, okay? So these reusable pieces of code are like variables and functions and so on. We have talked about variables and functions in previous videos. So please watch those videos first so that you can get a good understanding of what's going on in modules. Okay, good. So modules are basically separate Python files that contain Python code, and we can reuse these codes in our own Python files where we are writing our own programs. Okay, so in modules, you have the ability to create your own modules, or you can use modules which are already created by other people as well. Okay, so right now I will demonstrate how we can create our own simple module, and later on the video we will go through on how we can use modules which are already created by other people. Okay, so right now we are going to create our first ever module in Python. So step one, all you have to do is to create your file. So go here at the project directory, right click, then head on to create your new Python file. So right now we are creating our module, and let's call our module Superman. Okay, we have successfully created our module file, which is also a Python file. So I have named this module Superman, and inside this module I will input some of the abilities that Superman has. Okay, and how can I input these abilities? I will write these abilities of Superman in the form of functions. Okay, I will write these abilities in the form of functions. So we have already talked about function in the previous video, so if you haven't watched that video, I would recommend for you to do that so that you might know what's going on in functions. Okay, great. So as you can remember, in the last video we have talked about functions. So right now I'm going to write the abilities of Superman in terms of function. So the first ability would be the flight ability. Okay, no, yeah, the first ability would be the flight ability, and inside here I would say Superman is flying. Okay, great. So the second ability will be heat vision. Heat vision, say Superman is using heat vision. Okay, and you can end up over here, but I'm going to give Superman third ability, which is the strength ability. Okay, so yeah, Superman is stronger. Okay, great. Now we have three abilities in our Superman module. So right now Superman only has three abilities. Okay, great. Now here we already have a module which contains all of these functions you're seeing over here. So step two right now would be to create our Python file that will act. Yeah, so step one was to create the Python file that will act as a module. In our case we have the Superman module, And part 2 would be to create another Python file. This Python file, we'll call it main because it will be our main Python file where we will write our main program, okay? And inside our main program is where we will want to use the module that we have created, okay? So okay, here inside our main program we also want to use these functions which are present inside the Superman module. And in order for us to do that, all we have to do is to first make sure that okay, before I go there, so we have our functions over here inside our module that we have created. And as we have talked in the previous video, when you already have your functions and you want to call the functions so that you can see the output, all you have to do is to just write the name of the function. So we might take one of the functions which are present over here. Let's say we want to call the heat vision function. All you have to do is just to write the name of that specific function, okay, which is heat vision, okay? And when you run the program, you will get your output. But as you can see, we are getting an error, okay, which says heat vision is not defined, okay? So why are we getting this error? It's because we are trying to call a function that does not exist in our main program, okay? We are trying to call a function that does not exist in our main program. It's because we haven't defined the heat vision function in our main program. But this heat vision function, it is defined elsewhere inside the Superman module, okay? So it doesn't belong to our main program, it belongs to the Superman module, okay? So how can we resolve this? So in order to this resolve and remove this error over here, all we have to do is, it's because we are trying to use a function that exists in another Python file, which is the Superman file. All you have to do is, before you do anything, is to first import the Superman module into our main program, okay? And how can we import the module so that we can use the module in our program? All you have to do is to just write import, and then after writing import, all you have to do now is to write the name of that module, okay, of which in our case is the Superman module that we have created, okay? So after that, now we have our module inside our program. Now let's call the heat vision function again, okay? Heat vision. Okay, so as you can see, we're running our program and we still get the same output. Heat vision is not defined. Okay, so you might ask yourself, okay, right now we have imported our module inside our main program, but why are we still getting errors? Okay, so we're still getting errors because, again, we haven't defined this function inside our main program. This function belongs inside the Superman module, okay? So we are trying to call this function inside our main program the incorrect way, okay? So step one, as I said, would be to import the module inside your main program. Now, this isn't the correct way to call the function which exists inside the Superman module. So the correct way to call this function would be to first write the name of that module where the function belongs to, because the heat vision function belongs to Superman, okay? So we have to make a reference of Superman first, so of where we're supposed to write the name of the module first. Then we type in a dot over here, and then on typing the dot, we will now be able to access all of the functions which are present in the Superman module. Okay, great. So as you can see, we have typed the dot, and as you can see, there are several functions that you can see over here which belong to the Superman module. As you can see over here at the right side, this function belongs to Superman, this belongs to Superman, this belongs to Superman. Okay, and if right now we have three functions which we have defined in our Superman module. If you have defined like over 50 functions inside your Superman module, you will see all of them over here. Okay, so right now we want to use the heat vision function. Okay, now let's run our program. Now we don't get any kind of errors. Okay, and our program is working just fine. So here what we are basically saying is that hey Python, right now in this line, hey Python, right now we want to use the heat vision ability of Superman inside our program. Okay, now let's say we also want to use the flight ability of Superman in our program. All you have to do is to write the name of the module, and after writing the name of the module, as usual, you type in the dot so that you may be able to access the functions which are present inside the Superman module. So right now we have written superman.flight, and when we run our program right now our program has the ability to use is able now to use all these two abilities of Superman, which is the heat vision ability and the flight ability. So right now we are saying Superman is using heat vision and Superman is flying. Okay, let's say we also want to use Superman's other ability, which is, as usual, we write Superman first, and then right now we want to use the flight ability. Now when we run our program, now our program now uses all of the abilities that we have defined in the Superman module. Okay, so this one is the heat vision ability, this one is the flight ability. Oh, I've repeated the abilities. So the ability which we haven't used right now is the strength ability. Okay, great. Now when we run our program, yeah, we'll get the heat vision ability, we'll get the flight ability, and we'll get the strength ability. Okay, great. So yeah, that's the overview of what a module is. Okay, so right now we have seen how to create our own module in Python. So congrats on creating your first ever module in Python. Okay, great. Now we will see how we can also use other modules which are already created by other people. Okay, so are these modules there are built-in modules which are already pre-installed when you're installing Python into your PC, and there are external modules of which we have to first download and install these modules into our PC so that we can be able to use them. Okay, so one of the built-in modules which are already pre-installed in Python is like the math module. So as usual, we in order to use that module in our program, all we have to do is to write import, then we write the name of that module. So as you can see over here, there's math, so we're choosing the math module. Okay, and all you have to do, let's say right now we want to find the square root of 16. Okay, so inside the math module, there's, as usual, we have to write the name of the module. We put in a dot, then after putting in a dot, as you can see, there are so many functions which are present in the math module. Okay, there are so many functions which are present in the math module. Okay, so as you can see, use one advantage that you may have noticed up to now on using modules is that if we want if we weren't using modules, we would have to write each and every task, each and everything that we would have to write functions for each and everything that we wanted to do. Okay, yeah. So we would in our program we would have so many lines of code. Our program might look very complex. Our program might be less presentable. Okay, so as I said, we want to find the square root. Okay, so we are going to use the square root function. If you want to type the square root function, all you have to do is just write sqrt, then parentheses, and now you can use the square root function. But in yeah, we want to find the square root of 16, I said. So after writing math dot square root, all we have to do right now inside the brackets, we will enter the number that we want to find the square root of. Okay, so we want, here we are saying that, hey Python, we want to use the math module to find the square root of 16. Okay, great. So right now when we run our program, oh, okay, so I'll just create a variable for this. Let's say math dot square root of 16. Okay, so yeah, that's what's basically happening over here. Yeah, so and then we want to display the output, because as you can see over here, when we run our program there is no output to be displayed. So right now we are going to display the output of our square root. So yeah, result. Now when we run our program, we will see the output of our program, of which here we are finding the square root of 16. Okay, and the square root of 16 is 4. So let's say we want to find the square root of 4. The square root of 4, when we run our program, we get 2, of which 2 is the square root of 4, and so on and so on. So this is a module, one among the module that which is already created, that can help us to perform different operations in mathematics. Okay, so great. Okay, so in Python there are so many modules, each module made for different use cases. Example, there are modules which are used for data analysis, there are modules which are used for user interfaces, there are modules which are used for computer vision, and so many more. Okay, so we will mainly deal with the computer vision modules, which will help us to create computer vision programs. Okay, and our main module will be the OpenCV module. Our main module will be the OpenCV module. And so this will be our best friend, because without it we will have a very hard time creating our computer vision programs. Okay, meaning that we will have to write functions for everything that we want to do, but with the OpenCV module we will just use the functions and the variables and everything else which are already made for us in OpenCV. It will save us a lot of time and make our code less complex and more presentable. So with all that being said, I would now show you how to install OpenCV module in in your PC. Okay, so all you have to do right now is to just head on to the terminal. So in your PyCharm, as you can see over here, here at the bottom left, there's this icon over here, of which it's called the terminal. Okay, so all you have to do is to just click on the terminal icon, and this console over here will open. Now all you have to do is to just write the following command so that you can install OpenCV into your PC. Okay, great. So the command is pip install OpenCV dash Python. Okay, so this is the command that will download and install OpenCV module into our PC. Okay, so after writing the command, all you have to do is to hit enter, and once you hit enter, the PyCharm will automatically help you to start downloading and installing OpenCV into your PC. So as you can see, I have already installed OpenCV into my PC. That's why it's saying over here that requirement is already satisfied. Okay, because I already have OpenCV into my PC. But when you run this command, PyCharm will start downloading and installing OpenCV for you into your PC. Okay, now once OpenCV is already installed into your PC, all you have to do now, when you want to use the module inside your program, all you have to do is to just say import. Now we want to import the OpenCV module, of which is called CV2. Okay, great. So you're saying import CV2, and on typing CV2, if the module is successfully installed into your PC, it will show up over here, of which you can select on it and just hit enter. And inside here you can use so many functions which are present in the CV2 module. So for instance, maybe we write CV2, we want to access the functions. All you do is to just type a dot, and you can see all of these functions over here which are present in the CV2 module. Okay, so there are so many functions, of which will help us in creating computer vision projects. Okay, so in the next video we will be going through on how we can create our first computer vision program, and we will use this module, the OpenCV module, which is called CV2, of where we will use some of its functions to that will help us in creating our computer vision programs. Okay, so with all that being said, we have successfully covered about modules, and congrats to you, you have successfully created your first ever Python module. Okay, and we have seen how to import modules which are created by other people. And so with all that being said, I hope that you found this video useful and it has provided some value to you. And on the next video we will be creating our first computer vision program. Okay, so with all that being said, stay tuned and see you in the next video.